Okay,
Cool.
cool. Hi, I'm Amanda with SailM8. At SailM8, our mission is to serve the sailor, fuel the industry, and inspire the sailing community by providing resources as well as quality gear at hookup prices. At SailM8, one of the ways that we sponsor the sailing community is by sponsoring active sailors. Instead of spending our marketing budget entirely on pay-per-click marketing, we put our dollars back into the pocket of our customers through member-only discounts. And one of the ways that we help SailM8 sponsored members save is large project refits, new sails, crew gear, things like that. So if you are interested in becoming a sponsored by SailM8, reach out. I'll put the information in the link below. And so today we are initiating Captain Donald Lawson as our newest team member to be sponsored by SailM8. Hello, and we're gonna get to
Hello
know
there.
him. Yes, welcome. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I'm excited to get to know you. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. So, my name Captain Donald Lawson. I started sailing when I was 9 years old, which is a long time ago. For those who can't see my face. Uh, and I've been fortunate to sail all over the planet, different locations, different boats, different teams. I was a sailing instructor for a while. I was a delivery captain for a while. I was crew on race boats. But now I have my own nonprofit called Dark Seas Project. And the main focus is education to get more diversity in the sport of sailing, but also focusing on clean energy usage and being energy efficient. So it doesn't mean we're only solar or wind or hydro, but it just means that trying to have a plethora of power systems to power our boat and show why diversity and power is important as well. So right behind me, you can see our boat. She's called the Defiant. And for those on the West Coast, you guys may remember her as Mighty Merlot.
Hmm.
Before then, she was Group Alma 2, which was built and operated by Frank Camas in the Group Alma team. And so, very fast boat. That was one of our goals, to get the fastest boat we can get. So that while we're doing our education program, I'm also able to focus on record breaking and using the work we're doing record breaking to inspire others to pursue their dreams and goals as well.
Nice. Very nice. So you said you started sailing at 9, correct?
Yeah.
How did
So
you, yeah.
yeah. So that's a funny story in itself because I was a camper for a program called Police Athletic League, and it was designed in Baltimore to allow the police force to interact with the civilian population so we wouldn't be afraid of each other. And
Mm,
because of that, I got to go sailing on a boat. And when I went out there, I got the opportunity to experience freedom for the first time as a 9 year old. And the captain told me I could sail around the world. And so I just decided that's what I want to do the rest of my life. And so I started going to camps every summer and joined Naval LTC and Sea Cadet programs, engineering, boat design programs. And I became a USCF instructor and ran camps and got hired to go around the country and around the world. And so it was a one person's maybe just random statement to me became a lifetime mission for me. And so my goal is to give back because you never know who you're going to inspire to become a gymnast. You never know.
yeah, that's great. So it sounds like you started early on. Have you always been sailing as part of your career, or did you have other things that you've done in the past as well?
Yeah. I mean, so I was a sailing instructor, camp counselor, delivery captain, crew on race boats. Uh, but also I got to do some R&D work with the military. I won a couple state science fairs and
Mm,
international awards for submarine designs and stuff. So I love the ocean, love the boats, and for me, this fits me a little bit more than the design submarines. Sailing, particularly this type of boat, fits my mindset because my mind works really fast. I need to see and experience things at a rapid pace. For those who don't follow sailing heavily, you have monohulls, which are traditional single hull boats. And you have multi-hulls like catamarans and trimarans that you see here behind me. And the catamarans and trimarans are inherently faster than monohulls, and trimarans are inherently faster than catamarans, and so particularly in the ocean. And so to be able to operate boats like that, that's a dream come true. And I'm pretty much a kid on board the boat. I love sailing on this boat.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, it's a beautiful boat, so I can imagine. That's nice. Very cool. So I know that you have a lot of sailing goals, which is great, but tell me about the one that you're most excited about for this next year.
Yeah. So I have 33 world records I want to try to break over the next 10 years.
Hmm.
And they're all over the planet. But the main one I really, really want is circumnavigation. And uh, by doing a circumnavigation, particularly on this boat, I'll be able to set about 15 world records on one voyage. Um, so what I try to look at it from a holistic standpoint of want to set the world record for this class of boats, which I can go into more detail of what that means later. But let's just for the sake of argument, say 60-foot boat. From there, I want to become the fastest American, also to circumnavigate the planet. And then third tier will be my culture. I'll be the first in my culture to actually do this. And so, from the human aspect, the American aspect, and African American standpoint, that's kind of how I approach this. And all the tiers matter. All the benefits of breaking records matter because you get to inspire and work with everyone. And it is no longer just a situation where it's just, hey, because American only matters to us. No, I want the world record. I want the French to know that we are competitive too in this genre of sailing.
Yeah, I love that. That's great. Very nice. Well, I'm excited to see all those things unfold.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So tell me about the Dark Seas project.
Yeah. So the Dark Seas Project is a 501(c)(3), and technically I've been doing this work since 2000, roughly. But I've been paying out of pocket a lot to do all this work, and it became obvious once people started saying to me, "Hey, if you had a nonprofit, we would donate to the program." And so we actually officially became a 501(c)(3) this year. Um, and because of that, we've received a ton of donations, tons of in-kind gifts and stuff to allow us to actually continue this mission. And just this summer alone, for example, we did a West Coast tour where we pretty much went from San Diego up to San Fran, back down, and we had the opportunity to visit multiple yacht clubs and multiple schools and centers and organizations. And one of the things we try really hard to do is not charge for presentations, not charge for sailing trips. Try to do
Mm,
those as gifts to the community and people who are interested because there's people who come to hear us talk or see our stuff. We want to make sure that they're able to walk away with knowledge and experiences from working with us. And so uh, the flip side of it, of course, is that we are a 501(c)(3). So the more people donate and support us, the more we can do. And so, but the West Coast tour was a great tour. We had some hiccups here and there, but every program does. And the most important thing is that we're not done yet. We have a lot more to do. We have a lot more exciting things coming up that we haven't announced yet, that we will pretty soon. And we hope everyone enjoys it and participates.
nice. Yeah, I think that's great that you're, finding a way to give back in the community. That's, one of the things that we directly align with. So I think that's great. So I really appreciate that. That's nice. Definitely. Yeah. So I recently heard that you were sailing 20 knots downwind with no sails. What is your secret? What is your advice or secret to going so fast? What would you say?
Yeah, yeah. So so there's a cool video footage for those who want to check our Facebook or YouTube page of us. We're passing Point Deception off of California coastline, and we're flying in 35 knots of breeze. And once you get to a certain wind threshold, you need to throttle back. And so for non-sailors, we call that reefing. We reduce our sail area because the more wind you have, the less sail you need. But one of the benefits of a trimaran versus a cat is I'm actually able to sail pretty low and stay fast. And so uh, when we were getting gusts around 30, 35 knots, um, I rolled up all the head sails and dropped the mainsail down below the third reef point, and we were still doing 15 knots of boat speed across the water.
Mm,
And one of the things that you gotta be careful of on these kind of boats is you can actually flip these boats over if you're not careful.
mm,
And you're also going to put so much strain on the structure that you can actually break parts of the boat. There have been some boats similar to ours this year who have flipped over, who have damaged their beams and stuff because they were pushing so hard. One of the things that we do, particularly with our program, in particular for records, is we try to stay within certain parameters of operation. And this kind of comes from my military background, R&D work, where the boat's capable of doing 45, 50 knots. The boat is actually recorded as 47 knots. But I have no reason to go that fast unless it's an emergency. And
mhm,
so I try to stay around 20 knots of boat speed. And if I have to go up to 25, I'll do that if I have to. Um, my top speed so far on board this boat is 27 knots. And that's it as I throttling back quite a bit.
mhm,
So,
right.
but safety is paramount. Yes, safety is paramount. You have to always be respectful of the boat, be respectful of the gear, and try to get to your destination safely, which is the most important thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. Well, thanks for sharing
Cool,
that advice. That's helpful for sure.
cool,
Yeah,
cool.
it looks like you have a good mix of inshore and offshore things planned coming up. What do you prefer? What is your favorite?
Ooh, good question. So I'm an offshore sailor now. I spent a lot of time inshore racing, uh, day sailors and maxis and stuff, and it's fun. I like going home afterwards. You go to a
Mm,
hotel, you get some sleep, take a shower, but I always kind of feel like there's something missing sometimes. When you're offshore, you're gone for an extended period of time. You are detached from land, and when you're doing a passage, you feel like an adventurer. You feel like you're an astronaut in the middle of space. And so I love the feeling of knowing I'm leaving from this place and I'm gonna end up in somewhere that's totally different in a matter of days or weeks. Well, in this boat here,
mhm,
it could be hours,
mhm,
but it's something totally different. And like I race on 12 meters around Cairns. I race on maxis, and I've been across the ocean on maxis, and they're great boats. But it's just something about a passage on a trimaran where you just feel like, man, you're covering so much ground so quickly. And then when you arrive at a new destination, sometimes you're not even exhausted because you got there so much quicker.
mm,
And, I always tell people all the time that when you think about it, a slower boat is less safe because not only are you at the mercy of the waves, and the wind, and the weather systems, but you have to carry a lot more fuel, a lot more food. And generally speaking, when you get thrashed around a lot, you're going to break stuff more often.
mhm,
But with a faster boat, what you're able to do, you're able to avoid the worst weather. If you look in your weather forecast and you see a big storm coming, of course, don't leave at all, or you can just go the opposite direction really quickly, miss the system, pop back around, and be good to go.
mm,
And then from there, I don't have to carry through 3 weeks worth of food. I can carry enough food for 3 days,
mhm.
and then that way the boat's lighter. And so I one of the great things about multi hulls as well is that I get to eat a lot of fresh food. I don't have to eat whole tons of freeze dried foods.
Right, right. That's the benefit.
Yeah,
If someone wanted to get to where you are in their sailing career, what kind of advice would you give them?
good question. You're pretty good at this. uh, so I'll give them the same advice I received from my mentors. First thing is get a mentor. Have someone who has experience, knowledge, and background who can advise you. doesn't mean that they have to do exactly what you're doing or be in the same exact genre of sailing that you're in. But their knowledge and experience can help you avoid some pitfalls. That's the first thing. The direct advice I received from a woman named Ellen MacArthur. She was pretty much the best sailor in the world for about 6 years, from like 1999 to 2005. I got to meet her in Baltimore. Uh, I asked her that question: "What do I have to do where you are?" And she told me, sail as much as you can. She told me not to harp on racing, but harp on passages. The more time you're out there, the more places you go, the more you learn. And then she gave me the advice to change my life, which was to race on multi-hulls. And at the time, she was training to race a boat just like this one here, uh, in a double-handed race across the Atlantic. And then she was also building a boat for her round the world records.
Mm,
And so she knew what she was talking about, because she said to me that when you race on these kind of boats, multi-hulls, you get to do more things. And you get to practice and you get to train yourself, and you have to master every skill set. And because of that, I started pursuing multi-hulls, and I was fortunate to get really good at it. Won a couple championships on the East Coast and stuff like that, and placed a couple times in nationals. And you start realizing that, hey, you can do everything on board these boats. And so when I go on other boats that are fully crewed, and they say to me, hey, I need a mainsail trimmer. Well, I can do that. Or I need a bowman. Well, I can do that as well. And this
mhm,
one's steer. I can do that. And so you get to diversify your skill set. And so the one thing I think as an American sailor, and I'm starting to see it develop now, is we have to be able to do every aspect of sailing, not just
mm.
one skill set. And so that's the one thing I would say: master all the skills. And that way, you're more valuable to your team, and you're a more valuable sailor overall.
Thank you. That's really, really good tips. Thank you. Very helpful. I'm sure that a lot of people will appreciate that. And I love that it's something that you shared that you were given and it helped you. So that's super
Yeah.
valuable. Thank you.
I don't own anything knowledge-wise, and so
Yeah.
my job is to pass on what's given to me, so that
Mhm.
someone else can get better too.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Well, thanks. Well, just real quick, one more thing for you. What are you most excited about to join up in the SailMate sponsorship program?
Yeah, well, so I met, I think it would be your dad,
Hmm.
when I first took ownership of the boat, and he was a real cool guy, real nice, very helpful, and he gave tons of good advice. And um, when I got the message that you guys were doing this program, it was a no-brainer, because the big picture is that you want to work with the best people, and you want to work with people who are caring and care about what they do. And even though I have North Sales on the boat, there's other aspects of the business
Mhm.
that are extremely important to our program. And
Mhm.
we plan on doing some refit work in San Diego, for example. Well, it's probably a good idea to work with someone who knows San Diego better than I do, right? And so it's one of those things where you want to work with the best people, people who have good reputations, because you guys are well liked, um, and have people who can give you sound advice as well. So I'm
Mm,
excited about it. I'm also appreciative that you guys want to work with us. It's very kind.
cool. Yeah. Well, I'm excited as well. Yeah, I think it's great. So very appreciative as well. It's so great talking to you. So great getting to know you. And so grateful for all the advice that you've given and everything that you've shared. And I can't wait to learn more and look forward to our next conversation. So
Likewise, and if
yeah.
anyone wants to donate to the program, just visit my Facebook page under Captain Donald Lawson. We have a YouTube channel now. We have an Instagram page, LinkedIn. We're all over the place. So if you want
Nice.
to get involved, donate to the program, or just say hi. I get a
Yeah.
lot of negative comments. It'd be nice to get some positive ones too.
Yeah. And I'll add your information so people can figure out how to reach out as well. So
Excellent, excellent. And
yeah.
hopefully we'll see all you guys out there, and say hi. Okay.
That's right. That's right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. You take care. Okay.
You as well. Thank you. Uh